Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Alex Crawl Diving. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the past 2 weeks and what I've been doing at work as a professional diver. I've actually been working every single day, which is definitely a step up from the hours I was getting over the previous past 2 weeks. So I've been working at the Marina, so I've continued working on putting in new docks at a sailing boat club marina. Um, I've also done a ship survey where I actually got to be the acting supervisor. Not the actual supervisor because I'm not qualified that, but I got to take on the responsibilities and get paid as a supervisor, which was pretty cool. And then I got to do some kind of reconnaissance work. So basically, we had a job coming up, and so I had to go to the pier where a ship that we're going to be working on is moored to. And I got to ask questions and basically get all the information prepared, and let the office know like what's going to be going on for this job and what kind of equipment that we need to prepare for it. So I'm going to be talking about all that stuff. But if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video and leave any comments or questions for me down below. So like I said, I've been busier. I think the week before last I got 42 hours, and then last week I got 38 hours. So total of 80 hours over 2 weeks. That's really fantastic. Definitely a step up, like I was saying. I think 2 videos ago I said that I worked only 17 hours over 2 weeks, and then one video ago I think I said I worked a little bit more than that, but still not every day. So now we're getting to a point where I've been busy and there's more work coming up. Like this week, I'm working more. And then over the next 2 weeks, I'll be working every day. So that's definitely at least 5 weeks of just working complete every single day. So we'll see what happens after that if it continues. But definitely a great thing that there's plenty of work right now. So what have I been doing at the marina? That's basically what I've been spending most of my time on, most every single day. But I've continued work there, putting in the anchor blocks. So if you missed it in my previous video, I talked about how we're putting in these cement blocks that weigh about 4,000 pounds each. And there's 12 sets of 4 blocks. So 48 blocks total, 12 sets of them. There's 4 blocks in each set. And basically I had to help assist the boat to position these blocks into place. So what that means is basically a forklift puts a block into shallow water. The boat comes up. I have to clip the eyes or the pad eyes of the anchor blocks into the ship's winch, and then I have to let the boat know like, hey, you're in position, you're right next to where you want this block to be, go ahead and drop it down. And then I'd let them know like, hey, you got to move over 2 feet to position it exactly where you want it. And then we drop it into place, and we just basically have to do that over and over and over until we get all 48 of these blocks put in place. After that, a chain has to run through each set. So each 12 set of blocks need a chain to run through them. And what I mean is each block has a 6-inch diameter hole in the middle of it. And so a chain runs through the middle of each block. So through the first block, second block, third block, and then the last block, it gets bolted to the last block. So I had to run chain through each of these sets and then bolt the end of the chain into the last block. And then for each set, I had to put this kind of like a buckle. It was kind of plastic, and it shackles through. It shackles to the other end of the chain for each set of blocks, and then that shackle to buckle goes to like a 8-foot mooring line that terminates in an eye. And then from that 8-foot mooring line, that obviously wouldn't reach all the way up to the dock. So we get like another 20 feet of mooring line that kind of does a figure 8 kind of a knot to the 8-foot mooring line, and then that line goes up to the dock, and then we tie that to the dock. So I had to do that for each one of these 12 sets of blocks, or anchor systems. So that was one part, was the cement blocks. Then we had to move on to these metal anchors that are about this big. They go into the ground like this. And how it basically works is there's a metal rod that goes into the back, and then basically the boat has a jackhammer that we can, through the center of the boat, and we basically jackhammer the rod into the back of the anchor, and we drive it down about 20 feet. We add rod as we go down deeper, and it basically is hooked to a chain, and it drags the chain along with the anchor. And then when we pull the rod out, once we got down about 20 feet, now when we pull on that chain, it's going to right the anchor so that it has the force of holding it down underneath the dirt. So it's kind of cool how that works. It was kind of cool learning about that. But anyways, we did about 6 of those, and then those went to the end of the dock. So that's just one part that we got done. There's actually 2 more docks. We did C dock, which is half the size of A dock and B dock, but we at least got C dock done, and the main dock that connects all the other docks together done. So now we just have A and B. So we have about 24 of those metal anchors to do left. So we got a lot of work ahead of us, but we definitely got a lot accomplished with that job. So then I got to do one day of a ship survey. And if you missed the last time, I talked about how I did a ship survey, basically took pictures. I followed the guy that was in the water with me. He was taking pictures. This time, when I did this survey, I was the one taking pictures. And this time we didn't have to do a prop clean. Last time we did, we had to get in the water with pneumatic scrub brushes and scrub the prop clean, and then take after photos of like the work that we did. This time we just took pictures, and the pictures actually turned out pretty good, so I was happy that I did a good job. But you basically take pictures of like the ship's hull markings, like draft markings, stuff like that. There's markings all over the bottom of boats to, I guess, tell the engineers like where stuff is at and stuff like that. There's inlets and outlets to like freshwater systems. There's sea chests. There's like ICCPs or sacrificial anodes. There's bilge keels. There's all sorts of things that you need individual pictures of. There's like sounders, which is like sonar and stuff like that. And then obviously the ship's propellers, if they have more than one, or what do you call it? I'm blanking, but basically side thrusters, stuff like that you need to take pictures of. And I took around 100 pictures. I had a guy in the water. It was all on scuba. I had a guy in the water with me as kind of an in-water tender, acting in water tender, and then we had another guy topside. So like I said, I got to be the acting supervisor. I wasn't the supervisor because I'm not qualified yet, but to become a supervisor, you have to be like an assistant supervisor and get signed off that you basically performed the responsibilities of a supervisor, but you weren't the acting, you weren't the actual supervisor. So basically what that means is I just had to, like, when we first got to the ship in the morning, I had to meet with the ship's chief engineer. I had to go over like the drawings with him, and I had to have him sign paperwork and check off like tag outs and permission to dive, and make sure that he makes sure that all of his ship's systems are, you know, turned off for divers, and let me know, like, is there anything that's running, or if it is it at a low speed, and where is it at, and how can I avoid it, and stuff like that. And also got to call the harbor to let them know we're going to be in the water, and I also had to take care of any paperwork. So I actually did get paid to perform the so I got suit pay basically, which was pretty cool, and I got to log that in my logbook that I spent those hours. So I accumulated some hours towards my supervisor qualification, which is pretty cool. So and after we got done with that job, I had to do a report. So on every single system, like the propeller, basically on everything I took a picture of, I need to report the like fouling and the condition of it, paint, like all this stuff needs to go in like a 10-page report that goes to the ship to let them know the condition of the hull that we observed. So I had to do that as part of my responsibility as assistant supervisor. So I had to do that. Also, the last thing I had to do, like last Friday, I had to do like kind of a reconnaissance work, basically preparing for us for a job. So I had to go to a pier where a ship is moored to and talk to the chief engineer, because we're going to be doing a whole clean. So it's not just a survey. We're actually going to be cleaning the hull of a ship. So the whole entire thing needs to get pressure washed. So we need to know like the equipment and where the spigots or hookups to water sources, how far are they from the boat, like basically, you know, do some reconnaissance on what we need for that job, and then report it back to the higher up so they can do all the planning, and then we can get all of our equipment prepared. So for all of my hours, I wouldn't say like I spent 8 hours a day every single day, and it was exactly 8 hours. Some days it was 9 hours, some days it was only 3 hours, but it equaled out over 2 weeks to be 80 hours total. So if you're wondering about that, like, oh, do you go into work, you know, 8 a.m. and leave at 4 so you get 8 hours every day? No, it's not full-time like that. It's more like you're going to be spending longer days and then shorter days, and it's going to kind of average out. That's basically everything that I've been doing over the last 2 weeks. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions for me or comments. And like I said, I got more work coming up, so I'll let you guys know how that goes. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a great one, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.